Good evening. We're so excited that you're here with us tonight. My name is Vicki Nix, if we haven't had the chance to meet before, and I'm a proud member of the Great Strides team here in Georgia. Tonight we're going to spend just a little bit of time hearing from participants from throughout the state of Georgia who are doing incredible things to fundraise for the CF Foundation. I'd encourage you to use the chat feature to share your questions, your ideas, your thoughts about what's happening, and really get the dialogue going. And we'll open up to a live Q&A at the end of tonight's formal presentation. We know that this year has looked incredibly different and that many of you are wearing many more hats than normal during this time. So our staff really put our heads together and came up with the most basic fundraising ideas to really help you efficiently and effectively fundraise in honor of those with cystic fibrosis. So first off tonight, I'd like to turn it over to my friend Autumn to tell you a little bit about how she and her team are fundraising during 2020. So Autumn?
Thanks, Vicki. Hi, my name is Autumn, and I'm the team captain for Autumn's Amblers. I was diagnosed with cystic fibrosis very late in life. I was 32 years old, and it's been quite a journey to get to where I am today. But despite the difficult path I was on, Great Strides is the way that I fight back against this disease. And I found that the easiest way to fundraise for Great Strides is to customize my Great Strides page with my personal story, and then I email it to my network. So I ask everybody to virtually walk or make a donation. And then I always take time to update potential donors with how I'm doing, if there's any recent drug developments from the CF Foundation. And then I always make sure that I thank donors for their ongoing support. Make sure that you always send out your link to your Great Strides page. So the two most important things are customizing your Great Strides page and sending out the link to your Great Strides page. That way people can get to it very easily. You know, over the last few months being in quarantine, I've been reminded just how important my community is. My husband and I have really had to rely on a lot of our friends and family. But, you know, as you reach out to your community for support, don't forget about other people that you might not have thought about. Try and brainstorm friends, family, coworkers, teachers, instructors, business owners, anybody you might interact with. You never know until you ask who might be willing to donate towards your Great Strides campaign. So, you know, you can also reach out to Vicki, and she can give you a list of who has donated in the past as well, and you can always send out your link to them. The Cystic Fibrosis Foundation is very near and dear to my heart. And I tell everybody about getting involved with the foundation and how it's helped me. I encourage everybody to do the same, because with a late diagnosis, I had every reason to feel hopeless and alone, but getting involved, getting connected with others has really given me a hope for my future. So remember, those two important things are customizing your Great Strides page. Make sure you send out the link to your Great Strides page. All right, thank you.
Hi, my name is Kelly Dickinson, and I'm a proud Mimi of 11 grandchildren. 2 of them, Hunter and Sawyer Kate, live with cystic fibrosis. My husband Doug and I have been walking in Great Strides walks for 10 years now, supporting the amazing work of the Cystic Fibrosis Foundation. With increasing knowledge and the effects of the disease, the projected future for Hunter and Sawyer Kate causes us to sometimes have good days and sometimes bad days. When the kids are sick for an extended period of time, or their clinic visit, maybe they come home with a poor report, it can really get you down. However, we are highly encouraged by the research and the drugs that have become available in the 10 years since the diagnosis. And so this is causing us to not live in fear, but we are dreaming big for Hunter and Sawyer Kate. We're dreaming of graduating high school, going on to college, having careers, and then someday a family of their own. We use the power of our family story to help others understand why a cure for CF is so vitally important for Hunter and Sawyer Kate. Fundraising through our networks is truly adding tomorrows for our grandkids. We know that the time and the money that we're investing is changing the quality and the quantity of our grandchildren's lives.
Hi, I'm Julie, and I'm the team leader for the team until it's done. in honor of my nephew Matt. Thanking and engaging your donors is such an important part of fundraising. Personally, I love a handwritten thank you note, and that's why each year I take the time to thank my donors by mail for their support of our Great Strides team. I found that it's helpful to engage my donors throughout the year, and I set a goal to connect with them 4 times through a mix of messages that include updates about the latest TF breakthroughs, showing gratitude for their support, demonstrating how their gift makes an impact, and of course, making the actual ask. I found that I can easily pull content from the CFF blog and the Georgia chapter social media updates as well, and I always try to include photos of Matthew as well. Due to COVID, I know everyone might not be able to give this year or at the level they were able to in the past, but I want to continue to recognize and celebrate all that has been accomplished thanks to my community of supporters. Sometimes it is hard to make the ask, but I know that they cannot give unless I give them the opportunity to help us find a cure for CF. Good luck in your fundraising.
Hi, my name is Tom Karakis and I'm an adult with CF. And I'm the team leader for Team Tom here in Atlanta. This year we wanted to get creative with our fundraising, and quarantine provided the perfect opportunity to put something big on the line. My hairline, that is. Since I am working remotely and people seldom see me, we decided to offer up my next haircut or color as a passion fundraiser for our team. The fundraiser was simple. Each person who donated essentially paid for idea entries to be selected at random for the event finale. And let's just say things got a little crazy. But as we promoted the event, more and more donations poured in, as well as the crazy hair suggestions. The fundraiser took off in a much bigger way than I ever imagined. By the evening of the selection, we had received over 120 donations, totaling over $5,000. The only cost was my hair ended up coming to a pink friar's cut. And if you're not familiar with it, it looks something similar to this. While I'm sure my wife Natalie was not thrilled to look at it for the weeks to come, we were both thrilled for the love and support and the results, which all went to an incredible cause. This time at home is a great time to get creative with your passion fundraisers and to think outside the box.
I love hearing your inspirational stories and how you're all making an impact. There are 2 fundraising essentials we wanted you to be aware of: the mobile app and your previous donation report. The app is campaign specific, so you can download either Great Strides or CF Cycle for Life in the App Store or in the Google Play Store to get started. Once that's downloaded, you have the ability to register for your specific campaign, and you have a variety of fundraising resources at your fingertips. You can easily customize your Great Strides page or your cycle page and send messages to potential donors asking for their support. Within the app, you can also send text messages requesting your friends and family to donate to your team's efforts. Just think of how many contacts you could reach this way. Also, a brand new feature is the ability to do mobile deposits for any checks you may have collected. These donations will be reflected on your page within 1 to 2 business days. Another great tool is your previous donor list. A member of our staff can help pull this list for you and sort by who has yet to donate this year. This report will go back 4 years, so it's an easy way to segment your donation list and continue to send friendly reminders to those who have yet to donate.
I personally love the past donor report. It's one of my favorites. I love seeing all the people who have supported you over the years and all the potential money available to your team. Now I want to share with you some exciting incentives coming your way for this fundraising season. For you Great Strides veterans, you're used to team t-shirts, team banners, tents, and other fun prizes recognizing your efforts. We've done a lot of thinking on how we can still show our appreciation in this virtual space, and this is what we've come up with. So number 1, the top 10 fundraising teams will be able to participate in our number reveal during our closing ceremonies on September 27th. We'll be sure to include the top fundraising team from each of our walk sites, and we're excited to reveal our statewide total in the same exciting way. Here's a little clip of Great Strides Atlanta last year. All right, teams who raise $10,000 or more will get a shout out on Walk Weekend from the one, the only, Tommy Owens from The Burt Show. This means you're basically famous. Tommy is even going to make us an exclusive virtual Great Strides playlists for you to enjoy on walk weekend. Number 3, once your team reaches $5,000, we will recognize you on the chapter's social media pages. Our entire community will get to see and congratulate you on your fundraising successes. As an individual, you can also earn great rewards. Our virtual walkers will be emailed post-walk day with the options to redeem prizes based on the dollar amount that you've raised. Prizes will include CFF branded merchandise like a jacket, a Yeti tumbler, quarters that pull over, a t-shirt, or a buff. The associated levels and pictures of the images will be available on the Great Strides site this week. The foundation has made the hard decision to remove the t-shirt at $100. That's something that you're used to seeing at our in-person Great Strides events. We recently announced that the CFF staff will be working remotely through the end of the year, which has caused us to have to reassess our original plan to distribute t-shirts. So we won't be able to do that this year. But please know that was not an easy decision. But through the assessment of cost and the current program offerings, distribution logistics, and seeking input from volunteers and leaders in our community, we feel that this was the best decision to help us stay the course in this time of uncertainty. We're still super pumped about all the incentives and features this year, and we hope that you are too. And now I'm going to turn it over to Shay, who's going to give you a little breakdown of our upcoming workshops. Turn it over to you, Shay.
I wanted to remind you that we'll also be hosting 2 more breakout sessions for you. You're welcome to attend both and invite your team members to join. These sessions, which will still take place on Tuesdays at 5 o'clock, include Social Media Savvy on September 1st and Planning Your Walk Weekend Experience on September 15th. We'll be sending out invitations before each session and recordings after. If you have any questions, feel free to reach out to your Great Strides partner for more details. Now, I'm going to pass it back over to Vicki to start our Q&A.
Special thank you to all of our presenters tonight. We are so thankful to have each of you share your knowledge and your skills. If you haven't already turned your video camera on, I'd encourage you to do that. Let's see your faces. And this is always my favorite part of these sessions, is really opening this up and having a live dialogue with so many of you. So feel free to chat your questions in, or just take yourself off of mute, and we can kind of discuss a little more deeply some of these ideas about back to fundraising basics. And while you're thinking of your questions, as always, I want to give a quick campaign update. As of just a few minutes ago, we had registered 881 walkers out of our 1,000 walker goals. So we're making great progress. We have had a lot of movement in this regard since we were last together. And money banked, we're at $1,325,266. So funds are continuing to roll in for Great Strides too. So that is in, I know, based on looking at the report, a lot of you on the call have been a big reason why these numbers. So with that, I'm going to just pause for a minute and see if anybody has any questions that we can open up for the whole group to talk about.
Hey, Vicki. My voice is really repeating. Is there a reason for that? Hold on. Can you hear me now? Is that better? Okay. I had my phone going too. I couldn't figure out how to get in here. I had a question. So earlier she mentioned a way that if we receive a check at home, somehow we could get it to you without going through the mail. What was that?
Yeah, we are pumped about this. So if you will download the Great Strides app, and you can do that through the Apple Store or Google Play, there's now an option to do a mobile deposit for checks. So no need to send them into the office. You can, it's just like if you do mobile depositing on with your bank. It's a very similar thing. And the great news is, when you mail it into the office, it typically takes a couple weeks for us to get that donation on your page. Now it just takes 2 business days for us to get it uploaded. So a really great feature, and could not be better timing for this to roll out with kind of everything happening in the world. So yeah, so I'll have Rachel send you we have a 1-pager that walks it through. So if you're holding on to any checks, that's a good way to go ahead and get those mobilely deposited. Yeah, anybody else?
Question, Vicki, it's Julie. And maybe you'll talk about this on the next session on social media, but like I know there's the Facebook fundraising part and then there's also you've got the app now too. So I'm just trying to make sure they all come into the same, they all collect the same information and pull up on the same report, right?
You're teeing us perfectly for the next session too.
Okay. Well, I can wait until then if that's it.
No, we'll answer it. So there's a bunch of different ways now to be able to fundraise on Facebook. The first is by connecting your Facebook. You can connect to Facebook fundraising through your participant center. So when you log on now, you'll see a big blue bar, and that's super easy to connect. And Natalie's going to do a deep dive in our next session on really how to do that. But one of us is happy to walk you through it if you want to do it before September 1st. In terms of the app, it kind of is, you're able to access the participant center, and you're also able to send out a request for Facebook. So everything is interacting. It just depends on if you feel more comfortable on your phone or on like a laptop or a PC. So everything's doing the same thing, just gives you a lot of options to work. And I think the best thing, how I personally use the app, is the ability to send text messages. If you don't have somebody's email address or you don't want to Facebook them, texting the link is a great way to reach out to donors you might not typically think are on like your list of potential people to reach out to. Thank you, Julie. Anybody else?
So I have a question in that regard, and apologies because first timer here. But we have raised money on Facebook, both myself, my sister, people on our team, whatnot. And so at this point, all just kind of like a lost cause, it's not a lost cause, right? It all went to the CF Foundation, but it wasn't in association, I don't believe, with our Great Strides page. Is there a way to connect those, or not really, or?
Yeah, Heather, I can
connect previous transactions, I guess, is what my question is.
Yeah, I'll reach out to you. If I can
Okay.
get those Facebook fundraising links, we will tie it to your Facebook page. So that
Awesome,
is something that happens a lot. If you've
Yeah.
launched a Facebook fundraiser, like for your birthday, Facebook promotes those. We can always go back and tie those into the Great Strides page if you'd like us to.
Okay, that's awesome. That's awesome. And then in the same time, could I have somebody explain to me how to do it to actually tie it in correctly? Because that'd be great too.
Yeah, I'll give you a call. We can go through both of those things.
Awesome. Thank you.
You're welcome.
Hi, I have a question.
Yeah, go ahead.
Hi, this is Blondie. So I had a company that sponsored me for the first time this year, and they did a $1,500 sponsorship, which would include like a sign at the walk and then their name on the back of the T-shirt. Being that we're not going to have the T-shirts and we're not going to have the walk where they'll be recognized, how else would they be recognized for their efforts in sponsoring my team?
Yeah, it's good to hear your voice. I'm glad you're with us. We've had to modify our sponsorship packet, so I'll see Danielle typing, so perhaps she's already sending the sponsorship packet over to your email. So if you already had a company sponsor, we've adjusted those levels to work in the virtual space. And the good news is that the T-shirts, we're going to be able to reuse them again next year. So in some cases, they were printed on the back for some sites, but for the majority of our walkers, we'll have to just hold that sponsorship opportunity for next year. So we can work with you if there's something we need to do to make that right with your employer. We definitely will do that. So let's chat offline to make sure we take care of what they need.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah. Anybody else? Anybody have any tips that are working for their personal teams in this back to fundraising space, or any other things that are working with your walkers or recruiting? Or I'd love to hear any ideas that are working for teams.
It's Blondie again. Last year, I haven't really done much this year because I've had so much going on. But last year we did a silent auction, and that went really well, where we had folks like donated stuff, and we created like a basket for one, for instance, like a mystery box that had like different, in the mystery box I actually had like a picture of my CFR with like his autograph, like, and different items pertaining to CF. But that was a really good fundraiser that we did last year.
Love that.
And I do plan on doing it again this year, but I just haven't gotten to it. So one of the things that I'm actually doing for the silent auction this year, because I crochet, so I'm going to be crocheting a lap blanket that we're going to use for the silent auction.
That's awesome. I know Shay's ears peaked up. She's our crocheter on staff, so.
Do you have social media badges or frames and things like that that we can push out? What I have not done much of in the past, I did fundraising, but I didn't really push my team members to also fundraise. Some of them would, but it was just kind of few and far between. But I'm hoping that this year with the virtual format, and because people, I don't know, kind of may want to have an opportunity to do something good in all of this kind of crazy chaos that we've got going on. And so I'd like to really push that as much as the individual fundraising for me. And so I'm wondering if there are badges and things that I can, kind of forward out to them to say, hey, join our team, and then they can use it to continually promote Great Strides beyond that. Are there resources that you have?
Social media or?
Yeah, that's what,
Like a Facebook
there are
cover
social
photo.
media badges, things, but then also, like if there was a way to customize a frame. I mean, I know there's usually a Great Strides frame, but is there one that said, I'm a team leader for Great Strides, or are there a selection of them that maybe we can push out?
Yeah, so on your participant page, once you're logged in and once you've started fundraising, you accrue badges yourself. So as you guys as team leaders, you automatically get one. If you make a self donation, there's 5 or 6 different options, and I think it's right underneath the photo. Now that it's on your page. But then Natalie was chiming in. We do have cover photos and profile pictures that you can grab those to promote the walk as well. And now that I'm saying this out loud, I don't know if we've updated them.
I was going to say they may not updated, so that will be on my agenda tomorrow. That is a fabulous idea, Julie. We can get those out, but I actually really love the idea of kind of a distinguishing like team leader or walker, come walk with me. So we will get those updated for the virtual space and shoot them out. I think you're so on the money. That's a great way to have everyone get involved, and to kind of piggyback off your last point, and we'll touch on it in our next workshop as well. Having your team leaders launch a Facebook fundraiser is the certified easiest way, or everyone on your team to do that, because that's, a matter of 3 clicks for them. So it's a little bit more of what I would call an entry level way for them. So I will shoot those out to everyone. But thank you for that suggestion.
Awesome. Anybody else, any questions or ideas you want to discuss with the team? Welcome, Layla. We're happy you're here. And anybody having any challenges that we can address as a team? I know one I'm hearing somewhat often is that it's hard to get to mobilize your people to physically register for your team. That's one I'm kind of hearing across the board, and it's complicated because there's not, usually you're signing up to, we have your plate of barbecue or, whatever's happening at your individual walk site. So I know, again, folks are really looking to you guys to kind of set the tone on what is needed from them and how to do that. But anybody have any tips in that space on getting folks to register for your team? I'll answer my own question. So one of the, I get to sit on a task force with some volunteers from across the country, and a CF mom out of kind of the northern New England did a Facebook Live to kind of officially kick off her team. And I think this is just such a smart way. I think I mentioned it a little bit on our last call, but she kind of officially let people know what they were going to be doing and said, we have 6 weeks until kind of our virtual walk weekend, and asked folks to register. And kind of crazy story is that she had someone that she had approached about doing a matching opportunity for their team, and he had declined it. But once he saw the Facebook Live, he doubled his donation that he typically would have given, and so did a $10,000 match for their team. So I think Facebook Live can be a scary place if you haven't done that before. And she was funny. She said at the beginning of it, if nobody watches this, I'm going to delete it in the next few hours. So she felt like it was kind of a low risk opportunity that played out with a big reward to get people either registering for their team or making a donation to her page. So another idea to kind of put in your back pocket if you're still waiting to kind of kick things off or want to relaunch things with your group.
Vicky, to piggyback off that, something we did, and again, speaking just for Team Tom, our friends kind of hadn't registered. They normally register like the week before the walk, and so since that physical walk didn't take place this year, I just shot them an email, and that is not a new or novel idea, but I just made it like a 1, 2, 3. It was like 3 things I need you to do. 1, register, bullet point. I know since it's virtual, you think you don't need to, but I need you to. 2, consider self-donating. 3, launch a Facebook fundraiser. And I think just really making it direct and not like, beating around the bush for us was a really successful way I think we like quadrupled the size of the team. So definitely recommend giving that a go.
Yeah, I was going to say the same thing. It's like we obviously have the list of everyone that has joined the team in the past. So it's just sending that mass email, like you said, Natalie, 1, 2, 3, or even individually to people say, listen, we know we're not going, to do this in person, but we still want the numbers there.
I love you guys just taking it back to the basics. I mean, how awesome. It's like we queued that up or something, right? Anybody else in these last couple of minutes have anything we want to discuss as a team?
Are you planning at all, and I'm sorry to ask another question, but are you planning at all to have any kind of feedback from walkers? So pictures of their watch that shows that they walked, or a picture from them walking, or something like that with encouraging hashtags and social media?
Julie, we're like on the same wavelength.
Okay.
That's good.
We have talked about fundraising a bit, so that's probably not.
So walk weekend, to go ahead and mark your calendars, that Friday the 25th, we're going to do Facebook Live at noon to kind of officially kick off the weekend. And within that script, walkers will be encouraged to where to send their photos. And then we're going to go live to teams throughout the weekend. So I'm really excited. Again, some folks Friday night, all day Saturday, and then again, some Sunday morning. And then on Sunday at 5 o'clock, we're going to announce the total that's raised. And we're going to put together a montage of all the pictures that have been submitted throughout the weekend. Danielle's going to work her video magic for us. And she's calling it the wind down, the walk wind down, I think is what she's calling it. We'll certainly be, we know this is like weird and strange how we're doing this. And so that's like the closest way we can feel like we're being together. So mark your calendars for those. All right, well, I will finish up for tonight. I really appreciate all of the leadership all you guys are providing to your teams, and please know that our whole team is here. So if you have any questions or something sparked an idea that you want to try with your team, our group is here to help with whatever you need. And shout out for our next workshop. It'll be September 1st, this same time slot, and we'll send some reminders that day of just to send you a reminder. But it's all going to be about fundraising with social media. So I'm really excited about the content we've got together, and we'll do some really basic things. So if you've never really fundraised on Facebook or want to walk through the specifics, you can see that. And we also have some kind of new and innovative things. So if you're pretty savvy with your social media, I still think you'll take away a couple tips that might help in this virtual space. So
I just thought of something. Sorry, I'm late to the game with my thoughts. If any of the folks that you're walking for has a birthday, around the walks. I know it's Grayton's birthday, pretty close to the walk. So it's like maybe, join the team as a virtual birthday party, like something like that, like a spin on that. So if anyone, has, birthday falling around them, that could be a cute idea to get people to join the team.
Yeah, Natalie and I were just talking yesterday. Redhead Day is coming up in September too. If there's a redhead on your team, that's an easy way to, I feel like you can take a spin on anything just looking at some of these upcoming days and turn it into a fundraiser. So,
Cool.
thanks, Layla.
Mm-hmm.
All right. Well, thank you guys again for your time, and please reach out if you need anything. We're excited to just be 6 weeks away from our virtual walk weekend. So thank you all for all that you're doing to let us reach our goals. So, good night.
Thanks. Bye.
Night, everybody.
Thank you.
Bye, everybody.